Hello, sir. We are not able to hear you.
Hello, sir. We are not audible, sir.
I think it's still on mute.
Yeah.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we
Okay.
can hear.
So do you want me to restart?
Sorry, but yes, sir.
No, that's okay. Just take it mine. Okay, so this was the first slide. I just generally said what I do, what's my name, and what is the subject that you will be learning from with me for the next 18 hours. For the next 18 hours.
Screen is also not shared.
Screen, which one? Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. We can see the PPT.
See, who's that? See, it's the professor who runs the school. Let's get the equation right. Okay, yeah, so I'll tell you why. It's because that's exactly the third point here. I'm here to teach and you are here to learn. Okay, let's all be clear about it. Okay, so I was just talking about all this stuff. Attendance is mandatory. You guys know it. This is actually your fourth class, so you know LMS, you know everything. So I'm not going to spend too much of time. The only exception, possible exception that I might give you is that I know all of you are working. I know definitely one of you is working for Pedro Cash and Carry, so I know him. Where is he? Yeah, right here. So if you get a phone call, just take it. You believe you should take it, just go out of the class. No problem. But don't talk on message in the classroom. One, it's very irritating to see somebody messaging. Just go out and message. Don't even need my permission for that. Okay. For online students, when I mention your name, I expect you to unmute and talk. Little more serious stuff is that there are no prescribed books. There are only recommended books, which also means there is no syllabus. Great, right? If you play without rules, I can ask you any question as long as I believe it's relevant to the subject. That's right here and even in the exam. This is a management course. We intend to create better managers and maybe the next leaders. I might be seeing the next who is who. So this is what is our intention. Any doubts? Is the best time to ask the questions. So after that, gets a little bit serious. A little bit introduction of myself. I said my name is Ramesh Nagasamudram. You're wondering where is Nagasamudram coming from? It's a small town just in the border of anybody know where is Nagasamudram? No. Okay. This is just the border of Karnataka and Andhra, near a place called Hindupur and all that stuff. So I'm there. I'm not a regular professor. I have a serious day job. I'm presently Vice President Engineering at a satellite space company called Aniara Spacecom. And we are into satellite and satellite services. Very interesting field. But like every other field, we have competition, we have customers, we have pricing issues, we have service issues. So it's a tough life that we live, like any other business that we are in. I mean, at 61 years, you have a long story to tell you all. That story includes, I've been a hardcore RF and microwave engineer. I've been a program manager, all that you can read. And I used to be a extreme introvert. I would be like that somebody sitting there in the corner out there, never attend any social gatherings, never be part of any of those meetings. And my boss used to send me for meetings, and I would be the one who would take a coffee and stand there for a long time. And then my boss asked me, how many people did you meet? I said, not my job to meet. I'm an engineer. I don't have to go out and stuff. No, but if you really have to grow up and go into the organization, you need to really know people and all that. So I'm a very different man now. So I'm telling you this because I believe that's the reason why all of you have come to do a management. Otherwise, you would have done a specialization. Somebody would have done a specialization in Oracle, supply chain management, but management is everything, right? At the end of okay, maybe 18 months or 27 months, you can have 5 sheets in front of you and you should be able to analyze the books of the company, where is the business heading, who is the troublemaker, am I good with the labor, am I good with the management, everything. So good. So I've been doing all kinds of jobs. I was an installer, I was a technician. Then I've been advising a lot of companies. I've been into product development. And I use the word, I'm on both sides of the discussion table. What does that mean? Both sides of the discussion.
Customer and as a end user.
As a customer and as a customer and the company. Okay, that's one way. Something else?
As a management purpose.
As a management,
As a end user
as an end user,
and as well as the owning the
as
service.
a owning the service, as a supplier and user, anything, right? Well done, good job. Okay, so I've been handling all kinds of products, a small few dollars of components to satellite, which typically is $100 million. So I remember few dollars, not even few dollars, few cents. I remember in 80, 85, 87, 88, something like that. I used to be with HP. So in HP, they used to tell me that we have LEDs and you guys are new generation boys, girls. Okay, so at that time, the LED, what does LED stand for? Okay, at least you guys know that. Okay, so so at that time they used to say that we will be using LED for signal lights. And we used to laugh. We said, can it ever be there? Because the LED used to be such a dim bit of light that would be there on a PCB circuit just to tell you whether it's on or off. But now you know where LEDs are used everywhere, including maybe this is running on LED. So LEDs used to cost a few cents. And of course, satellites are lots and lots of money. Okay. And I have been teaching you guys, advice like you, for the last 8 years. So I can understand the psyche of you people. And why am I saying this is management is a very funny course. What happens is management is taking real life examples, getting that real life example qualified, getting that real life example published, and that publication coming to the professor and the professor reading. So by the time all this happens, it's 15 years, 20 years. So lots of management stories are stories which are pre-internet era. It doesn't make sense to do that. So I will try avoiding that. I try to give you more recent stories and things like that. I used to be lots of reading. I cannot go to bed without reading a few pages. But now I'm concentrating more on reading stuff which will help you guys understand. Okay, anything fine? Following me? Speed, slow, RPM, reduce, increase? No, all fine? Perfect? Online?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay. So now comes what we do as your course. Your course in marketing management is 18 hours of classes, 6 assignments, and 6 assignments. 6?
2 assignments.
Who decides 2 assignments? You or me? Okay, yeah, you're right, you're right. Okay, I'm just wondering, how many of you have curd rice? Because curd rice is the one which gives you sleep very fast. Okay, so good. All of you are awake. I'm the one. I was sleeping when I wrote this. Correct. So see, 18 hours, 6 sessions, very good. 6 classes of each 3 hours, 2 assignments. There's already one assignment in the LMS. Have you seen it? No. But how do you know it's there? You could not hear that. Always the professor is right. Correct. So 9 self-tests. You just did something like a self-test, not really, it's the introduction. I wanted to get to understand what do you think of marketing? I just put 2 lines of it. And some classroom or off classroom. Okay, perfect. Right? So this is what it is. Course overview. What will we do? I'll start off with a bit of history. It's always good to start off. Okay, nobody begins the story of Rama by saying Rama, right? They begin by saying his father, his grandfather. So what about grandfather and all? We'll talk about marketing today. Then you have some assumptions about marketing. I see some of you have given your definition of marketing and all that. So, and then we talk about the role of marketing in an organization. Then what is marketing? How much of marketing is science? Actually, the more and more you dig into marketing, it's almost like perfect science. If you do it correctly, you just can't go wrong in marketing. Then adapting marketing to business, marketing to consumers. What is B2C? Business to customers. Business to customers. And B2B, example of B2B, IT solutions for work from home people.
Yeah, kind of. So
Is that, yeah, is the IT solutions for work to home for people are B2B or B2C?
it is B2B.
B2B. Okay, good. Try to trick you with that. Good, well done. Okay, so evolution of marketing and all that stuff we'll talk about. Okay. That delay is very nice. It gives me time to actually click the camera. So this is your book reference. The book is called Philip Kotler. One suggestion for all of you is you get my PPT, you get my video recording, you get everything. My suggestion is just put your pen down, try to absorb. That's more. Unless and until you are a person who likes to write. I'm somebody who must have a pen with me, and you will notice that sometimes I'll start scribbling all over the place. So it's up to you. But I'm telling you, you get my PPT, you get the the lectures, everything like that. Okay, so this is a book, Marketing by Philip Kotler. What is covered in red is very brief conversations we will have because it's only 18 hours of marketing. How much can I teach you? What is in blue is something that you will read, but everything else is something that we will do in very detailed conversation. Okay, you can't see it, fine print, doesn't matter, but we will eventually get it. Maybe I should go full screen on this. Okay. Good. So marketing content, what does EPG 103 mean? That's the course code. When you write your exam, you will have to mention that. EPG 101 is operations management or something like that. Okay. So principles of marketing by Philip Kotler. What we do in this institution, primarily in Dayanand Sagar, is that we draw a lot of stuff, interesting, important stuff from premier institutions like Harvard, Stanford. So we pull out those examples and teach you. We also pull out those case studies and give you to work. So honestly speaking, the course is a tough course. Right chance to get up. Last decision. Want to make it now? Otherwise, we lock the door, and that's it. You can't go out. So it's a very serious course, and every term we are tightening. It's going to be more tougher than the previous term, and so, but it's good for you, right? Eventually, you came here on your own, right? There's one page where I think I should go back to that page. I didn't emphasize on that. Yeah. You have chosen to do this course on your own will, right? Your dad and mom didn't force you. I actually can see what's running in your mind. Okay, so your dad and mom told you to go to school, they dragged you to school, you didn't want to be, you wanted to do, what have you done? Your
Qualification.
yeah. DCS, but that's for computer sciences.
Yes.
So maybe for example, what's your name?
My name is Amit Singh.
Amit Singh. So for Amit actually wanted to do journalism, but his parents said, no, BCS karo, get a good bride and all that. Right? No, that's the reason. No. So, but now all that is over. Huh? You have come here on your own. And most likely you have paid your own money. You're not borrowed from your dad or mom or anybody else. So do your course. It's going to be a tough one. Yeah, don't even tell me. Go on. Right? So this is a course. This is a management course. So I can only give you directions. I'm not going to handhold. Okay, I'm going to give you directions. Even in the exam, it's a lot of thinking is involved. We're not going to teach you, and then at least when we were doing a PU, IPI or SSLC, most importantly, if you read last 20 years of question paper, pakkas, yeah, but trust me, no two question papers are alike. Okay, so we are trying to get you to improve your skill sets. I'm here to teach, all that stuff is there, don't bother. Okay, now anything online, guys, you've been very quiet. Anything you want to ask me? Sindhu, Saik, Madhukar. Let me see if I know some familiar names. Is there somebody called Yotsna?
Sir.
Where's
We
Yotsna?
are in line.
You message me? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I will contact you. Yeah, go ahead, please, online. Yeah. Somebody was trying to talk.
No, sir, I just said we are in line what you're saying.
You're in line. Okay. Right. So this is your godfather for the next of your life. This is Philip Kotler, very much alive, doing well. He is the marketing. Yeah, marketing is a relatively new subject. Marketing is not too very, and he's a father of modern marketing. So read his book. In my opinion, older the edition better, because you're only doing basics of marketing and things like that. So you know where to refer it. Then what do we have? This is your obligation. You have to come prepared for the class. You are expected, you will be given assignments. All of you have done it. That filled up the form. I'll tell you how it works. Very simple. Sorry, I forgot your name again. Amit Singh, I'll never forget it again. Okay, so Amit now chooses to ignore that Google form and he doesn't fill it. I wouldn't know, right? How can I know what you're 60 or 80? But at some point, I noticed that Amit has not done one of the assignments properly, or something seems to be wrong. Then I'll go back and take some reference. What did Amit answer in one of those offline activities? Now I noticed that Amit is actually being, not even answering all of that. So now I know that by nature, he is not reactive. But let's say he's answered all those offline questions. For some reason, it looks like he didn't participate in the group assignment. I'll be a little more lenient. So that is the reason why it's in your own interest that when I give you an assignment or a Google form or whatever that is, make sure that you fill it. I'll not track you, but eventually it's good for you. So complete Google forms within deadline. complete assignment within deadline, that's your life. All professors will give you the same deadline. So it's your problem. Okay. For me, my subject is the most important. And in marketing terms, the first letter is always M. Okay, not A. Okay, or O or H. Okay, I hope you guys understand the joke. Okay, so read PPTs of the previous class and you will be quizzed in the beginning of the class. Very good. Next class, when you come, you'll sit in the class. I'll give you a 5 minutes Google form. Book, finish that, and then I know that because my job is to use that nice drilling machine, and actually they pay for the drilling machine here. We drill. Okay, so introducing the student. I introduced myself for the last 25 minutes. I know what is the time. Now, how do I get you all to introduce yourself? That's like how many of you? 50 plus 20, some 70 of you. That's going to take the whole day. Maybe it's the best thing to do. I get paid anyway. So, yeah. So maybe we can do that. Or we can look at two nice concepts which have come up. One is known as the elevator pitch, and the other is called Twitter messaging. Anybody have an idea what's an elevator pitch?
Like immediately starting off with how just an elevator moves.
What's your name?
Action.
Akshay.
Action.
Akshay. Go back, think again and give me an answer. You're almost heading there. Anybody else online who knows what's an elevator pitch? No? No idea? Have you ever been? No? Jyotsna? No?
Proposing a like in a businesses, I think it would be like giving a business proposal in a when you're on the elevation.
Why would you want to do that? Why don't you go to a proper meeting room?
Probably during a short of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it? No? You also didn't get it. No, 45.
So you do not have much time.
Okay,
screen time.
Name which is the forum mall, huh? Which has got PVR in which floor? 7th floor, 6th floor. Forum mall has a PVR. So you get into a lift. And it so happens that by sheer coincidence, if you don't know how God can sometimes do wonders. You and Mukesh Ambani are in the same lift. So what do you ask him? Sir, Kantara, or what do you like? What is the most likely thing that you'll ask him? How's the weather? Huh? So what would you want to do? And you are like Amit, who wants to be a professional entrepreneur. So what do you want to do? You have only that time in the elevator. Of course, 4th floor is a very bad example. Let's say 25 floors. You have 25 floors and each floor takes about 1 second or 2 seconds, whatever that is. So you have 25-30 seconds to explain to Narayan Murthy, any other businessman you can think of? Ratan Tata. And then any other names? Aziz Premji. Okay, so you will give them a pitch. So how do you do that? What will you say?
Summarize.
You say, I am Ahmed, I am from, where are you from? I'm from Bihar, you know, Bihar is one of the states of India, and we speak Hindi, all that will you say? No, what will you? You get to the point. So an elevator pitch is that you will use to effectively convey a message, right? And Twitter messaging is also like that. You can't overshoot the number of characters. Okay, you have to minimize yourself in, let's say, 100 characters or 200. Do you understand what's an elevator pitch? An elevator pitch is summarizing your resume, which actually runs to 6 pages into 200 words. Now, how do you do it? That's what is, yeah. Now, you have been listening to me for the last 25 minutes. I introduced myself. Now, if I were to give you an elevator pitch, okay, one thing. Whenever you see a line which says definition and notes, that's the page I don't read. That's the page you must read. Because that will give you what is the definition of a certain thing. And then when you have to write an exam or for you to remember, these are the pages that you will read. Very clear? Okay. So now this is my elevator pitch. enjoyed a roller coaster ride because 60 years or 40 years of working life, I would have had good years, bad years, tough years, challenging years, from engineering to entrepreneurship. I'm telling you how old I am, 60 years. No one listens to me at home. That's why I come and take classes. So you guys have to keep quiet. Okay, and I'm also saying that I'm a South Bangalorean. I'm very choosy of the coffee I drink, and my loyalty is with CSK, unfortunately. Right? So here's what I've done. More or less, I've explained myself, right? Reasonably well, you know what I am, how old I am, where I stay. Now it's your turn. I'm going to give you your first Google form to work on and end the show. And this is the form that you will fill. I'll post it on the WhatsApp. You guys can share. Okay, good. Give me 1 minute. Okay, I know how to do it. Let's move. Okay, I'll post it on the WhatsApp. You pull it up from there and you can start filling in. I'll give you for 10 minutes. Okay, did you get it? Yes. Yeah, tell me if it works. Are you able to click on the link? Can you see the link?
Yes,
See?
sir.
Yeah, okay, 159, let's say 210. Okay. If you have any questions on the form, ask. Let me just, in the meanwhile, wake up some people. Hi, Sindhu. Hey, hi. Are you following, Sindhu?
Hi, sir.
Yeah, are you following? Any doubts so far?
No, sir. No, sir. No,
All
as of now, no.
as of now, Srinidhi, Deepa, Roshit,
Yes, Professor. Srinidhi.
all fine. Yeah, you see, the idea why I'm talking to you is I'm trying to make you feel as much in class as possible. I know why not there's a camera somewhere there. Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? You have 10 minutes to work on. Yeah. Okay. Done. Not sure if it's the same. Which one? Yes. Yeah, that's. You don't need to. What's wrong with it? Yeah, good. What about you guys? define marketing in your own words as you understand today. Is that question I asked previously also? No, that's a different question. Yeah, that case study, I'll talk to you. Yes. Opening. Go very far from the main first bench. Sit here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is also open up your responses. So every resume share. Three class. Commerce student, yes. New share. Okay, so this is actually somebody I sent it, so don't bother about that. Hey, Srinidhi, can you mute? That's okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Trying with the other one? Yeah, that's why I told you should have iOS 17 and Android 14. Not working. This means that's why. Very well. You are okay with me walking up and down with you guys in the middle? Yeah, we're all. Corona's gone, I'm still there. New variant. New variant. Yeah. Hey, need some help or you can do it? Yeah. Yeah, see, I got my first response from 1, 2, wow, they're coming in like election results. Ravi Kumar. Where's Ravi Kumar, here or there? Yeah, hi Ravi. Marketing is a science. I feel an organization. Ravi Kumar, I have 6.5 years experience in pharma. Do you know him? Better know he's your competitor. Which company do you work for? No notice. No artist. No notice. No competition, right? Or he's from Biocom. Competition, right? 6.5 years in pharmaceutical industry, and I have done BE mechanical. Good. And who is this? Vikas. Over 12 years of experience, blessed with 2 cute daughters, very choosy about my sweets and a family first person. Nice, good one. Let me see if someone names here. Santosh Yadav. Hi. Hey, hi. Are you attempting the form? Yes. Okay. Okay. Got it. There's one more called Mr. User. Is that your name or? Mohammed Jashir is there. You're right there. Okay, man. Let's see what you wrote. Coffee of Starbucks, the most productive product. A bilingual professional and mother of one human. Which one is that? Well, that's a bigger than normal. Sorry. Yeah. I am an engineer turned HR professional with 9 years of experience. Love working or be around with people. I'm a foodie and love exploring some various cuisines. Good, nice. See, it's possible to say a lot and still be with humor. Where's PL? PL is here or there? PL Sen. Bilingual person, other one.
Hi, sir. This is Pial. I'm online.
Yeah, hi. Which part of Bengal are you from?
Yeah, I am from a small place called Durgapur. It's close to Kolkata.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Durgapur, yes, there's a steel plant there, right?
Yes, a steel plant.
I studied in Calcutta.
Okay, good.
We both Bangla kichu kichu boltu pare.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Hey, come on, man. I said Bangla kichu kichu boltu pabe aise.
Oh, আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে।
চেষ্টা করবে। Okay. Good. Now that's Shashi Kumar, hospital services. Shashi Kumar, Bangalorean, addicted to meditation and gymming. Where is he? Shashi is here, there. Addicted to meditation and gymming. So you're saying that you're addicted to meditation. So I wouldn't know whether you're sleeping or meditating. No meditation for the next 2.5 hours. Okay. Right. A professional insurance consultant, very nice, manager in an MNC company. There you go. No, nobody is running short of words, right? Then who else? There are lots coming in. And now we're not moving till most of you answer it. Nancy? Nancy is here. Nancy is there.
I'm online, sir.
Nancy is from Polar Goldfields, 3 years of experience working as a software engineer. Very nice. Did I miss anybody? Nandan? Apple products completed how to build a product with bricks and cement. Wow, what is that? Where are you? Answer. Yeah. So what do you mean by that?
I'm a civil engineer.
You're a civil. Ah, very nice. Good way to put it up. Very nice. Good. Play of words. Very nice. But entered IT by my will. Okay. Now aiming to learn how to build a product with technology. Good. Nandan, impressed. Good words. Anybody else I should be reading? Ramya is there. Ramya is an enthusiastic maniac who loves to travel with a bunch of coffee and love to experience various speeds and drawn to a roller coaster ride and love to be the best and around my parents. Very nice. Anybody here who's already posted? You're Ramya. There you see. The Ramya is so different from the face you have. You look like a very quiet person.
I am, sir.
You know. Okay, anybody else? Zahir Ahmad. You're there, where? Zahir. I've experienced 3 years in finance. I have done BCom. He is a quiet person. So doesn't say much. It's up to you. Yours now. I mean, I keep bringing her name because she just pinged me day before yesterday and that I just joined. She loves diamond rings. So is that, of course, what can I say? Am I wrong?
I said it's overhyped.
What's this? Huh?
I said diamond rings are overhyped.
Overhyped. Okay. Yeah, very true. Very true. Diamond or diamond rings?
Diamond rings are
The
overhyped.
diamond is okay. You don't mind diamond. If somebody gives you, you'll take it.
I prefer to buy myself.
Oh, very nice. Give that. That's nice. An engineer who overthinks about overthinking. Oh my God, I should have read this before asking you. A book, Sinado, whatever that is. But good, nice to see that you read a lot of books. What kind of books do you read?
Mostly fiction.
Fiction. Okay, I guess your fiction and mine a little. What are the ones you're reading now? Stephen King or something like that?
I used to read that blindly with mathematical books.
I thought, which one?
Samsara.
From whom? Amish or somebody? No? Okay, good. Right. Anybody else? I should be reading now. What's the time? 2:10. Okay, I'll go give another 5 minutes. Who wants me to read yours?
Sir,
What's your name?
people,
Where are you? Deepak Siddhaya Kalai.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay, at number 28. Tobacco and alcohol are what? Overhyped. Now, this is a very dangerous answer. So, maybe that's why he wants me to read it. Basically, from Mumbai, shifted to Bangalore since 1 year. I am an HR admin assisting in CP seats. It's a Thailand-based agro company headquartered in South Asia. You've given a lot of jokes, right from Mumbai to Bangalore to Thailand to South Asia. Good, but why? What's wrong with tobacco and alcohol being good, bad, overhyped? Overhyped means what? Thoda is okay. That's what you say.
it has spoils many of the lives. So,
Yeah, many more, all. So why overhyped? Okay, anybody else? I should be reading. Should be very seriously working. It's completed. What's your name? Purti. That's not fast. The last one, okay. Without basic advertisements, unable for a company to make profits. Very nice, Purti. Sputnik from Bangalore works as a cashier in a small cooperative society for the past 1.5 years. Very nice. Anybody else I should be reading online? We have Ahmed put in something here. Ahmed. From Bihar to Bangalore for higher education. Bihar, now in love with IT City. 5 years of experience working in my own venture. Good. Okay. So that's it. So I know all of you now. Now I know I have a different opinion of all of you, and especially this. I told you that. Very quiet person. She's an adventurous. Very nice. Okay, so let's get back to class. Now resume share, new share. Okay. So anybody else? You, I guess you're all following me, right? I don't think I should keep asking you that. Okay. Now what do we do? Now let's get back to serious business. We will look at manufacturing, sales, marketing from a historical angle. We'll do, as I said, we'll do a little bit of history so that we are all on the same page and conversation. So what I'm going to do is for the next 20 minutes, actually take you back to a different world and find out how it is. The beginning there was darkness, right? I mean, we will not go that far. That will be too far. So early days of civilization, if you look at the very early days of civilization, mankind, 5,000 years, 10,000 years, 15,000 years. What was man? Man was either a hunter or a gatherer. What does that mean? He would either hunt for food or he would gather and eat whatever was left, whatever the lions ate and left back. I'm talking 20,000 years, whatever that is. And what was his problem? Either he would find food or he would be somebody's food. Very simple, right? That's how civilization all began. Then what happens there? It's only the fittest which will survive. Go on, right? I mean, that's the best. That's the Darwin's theory. And it eventually will happen. The best will come out and we will do that. After that, man got more civilized. Man started getting into farming. Once he started farming, he started settling. So he was not running away. He knew that there were seasons, there were crops. And actually, what's probably missing out here is then he believed that there's another supreme authority above him who controls the rain, who controls water, who controls monsoon and things. So he started believing God. He said, there's this God will probably give me a better rain. Maybe I didn't do the right sacrifice. Maybe I didn't do it. That's why it was a bad monsoon or bad pandemic or whatever that is. But all of that started happening. Man started getting to settle down to a concept of king, kingdom, citizens, civilians, and all that. When you look at the king, what comes to your mind? If you look at a king of maybe 20,000, 10,000, 1,000 years back or something, you look at a king as somebody who is either taxing people or killing people and occupying land. That's it, right? If I was a king, something 41, 42, or something like that. And what would my objective be? My father left me Chola 40. Whatever his name, it almost looks like Pani 65. Okay, so what did he leave me? He left me a land of, let's say, 5,000 square kilometers. My only intention would be to expand. Go occupy the kingdom, do that. Why? Why did man have that concept? The concept was he had to capture wealth. Because only by capturing wealth that I can lead a better life. Because the concept there, and I want you to start paying attention so that we go on the journey together, is that there was only limited wealth available. So either you had to be rich or I had to. It's impossible for both of us to be rich. So if you are a farmer, I'm going to tax. That's it. I mean, what is that movie which was all about taxing the farmer? Lagan. So that's it. I mean, care a damn whether it was a bad monsoon or a great monsoon or a famine. That's it. I understand. The other thing I do is, if I'm running short of cash in my Tijori or whatever that treasury, I'd go invent another thing. Because the concept was that there's only limited amount of wealth. Either you have it or I have it. Now, for me to have it, you should lose. So there was no win-win. It was I win, you lose. Because of the concept which said the size of the pie is limited. There's only so much of pie that is available. Nobody thought that we can, why have a pie? Maybe why don't we have baked cakes instead of pies or something else? That concept was not there. Till some brilliant guy introduced what is known as the credit system. Now, what does the credit card do to you? What is that singular benefit for you on the credit? What is the singular benefit of the credit
Without
card?
money also I can buy.
Without money also,
I can buy.
I can enjoy. But there's money involved. There is money, right? So redefine your answer. Without I having money, I can still buy.
Yes.
Why is that? Why? How is it that you can buy? How is it that you can buy it even though you don't have money?
Based on my experience,
Based on your
the company can offer me the credit facility based on my credibility.
your credibility. Okay. So there's something called it. Okay. What else is the advantage of a credit?
Enhancement of spending.
Enhancement of an individual spending. He wanted to buy himself an iPhone, but salary not come. But then I'll give you a credit card. You pay next month. You buy it, and then you default it, and then you have to miss it. Okay, but we are not doing that, right? We are not doing that. We are sticking to the system. Okay, what is the other advantage of credit? Substitute for money. Okay. What else? Now let's understand this. This man wants to buy an iPhone, and he says that I keep saving money every month, 10 rupees, 20 rupees. That take a long time. Let's increase it 10,000 rupees. And eventually, in the 6th month, he'll have enough to buy the iPhone. And this person is actually from Apple, right? For today. Okay. So he's from Apple, and so he'll have to wait for how many months to sell you the phone? 6 months. So what does credit do? Fast track the sales. It fast tracks the purchase, and it also fast tracks the sales. Right? Otherwise, he would not have sold it for 6 months. Till he keeps on waiting. Sir, how many did you say? There'll be a crazy system of business. But jokes apart, I'm adding humor to our conversation primarily because you get the subject. Okay, so what happens is the credit system actually becomes a catalyst to the economy. Now, nobody is saying that it's a I win, you win situation. It says I know he's working in a good job. I know his next month his salary will come. The worst case, he'll marry and find somebody some money. Okay, but his money is guaranteed. And that way, there is business that's happening. So credit created a huge burst in the economic situation of the country or the whole world. So what did the king do then? The king said, I'm not going to tax my farmer. Instead of that, I call the farmer and tell him, here, take another 10 gold coins, buy better seeds, buy better fertilizers, and when your output increases by 30%, I take 10%, which is not going to harm you. So the farmer is happy, the king is also happy, and no longer do you have to visualize a situation that I have to kill him to survive. So a credit created a huge, massive change in the way the economy starts behaving. The creation of credit created the concept of win-win. Once this win-win concept came, the whole world started changing. Okay? Once the win-win situation came, and it happened more in Europe first than in the rest of the world, is that the king said, okay, I'll fund the soldiers, I'll fund the sailors, I'll fund the businessmen. Go explore. Build a better ship. Go explore. And what did they explore? They built better ships, they went and colonized any country which got colonized. Any country you know which got colonized by the British? Okay, so say that. Okay, so what did they do? They started exploring and they started colonizing other countries. And those countries were still in the hunter-gatherer, king, taxation, he wants 20 gold for his wife and things like that. But Europe had advanced into a credit system and started expanding. That is how the first company to come to India was called the East India Company. It's the East India Company which then was taken over by the British government. So the kings started encouraging companies to go and explore. That is how they ended up exploring Africa, exploring Indonesia, started plundering other countries because they have no love for the other country. And they started colonizing all those places. And now in some colony, if there was a rebel, the company did not have enough people, the king would sell because the king has invested in that business. So you see where we are heading. So this is what resulted in exploration and colonization. What's all that got to do with marketing? That's because once they started producing, once they started having an industrial production, the divide between the rich and the poor became very large. We were the poor country, the Europeans were the rich country, right? They were the have and we were the have-nots. We didn't have anything, they had. They started colonizing. What would they do? They would take the raw material from India, take it to England, finish it, and then sell it to you. So they would say, you will buy what I sell. So the seller was the king. The buyer had no choice. Sorry, I mean, this is the only cloth that you can buy. So if you've seen some old movies, you'll see that the whole family has one type of shirt and pant because that was how the government system worked. You either buy this color or no. So you see what is happening. The seller is the king and the buyer has no choice. This is what started happening about 100 years back. But a little later, at the end of the Second World War, it was the end of colonization. Colonization ended. India became a liberal country. I mean, India became a liberated country. So did so many other countries. It was the end of the Second World War. It was the end of colonization. Lots of countries became developing countries. And the rich and the poor divide became small. Even the poorer countries like Korea, Japan, Singapore, all of them started growing up to become rich. So now the seller had competition. So I don't like British goods, I can go and buy, I don't like the British washing machine, I can go and buy an LG washing machine. I don't like the British car, I can now buy a Japanese car, or I can buy a car which is made by Korea. So the seller had competition and the buyer had choice. You see where we are moving from a seller world to a world where the buyer is having more choice. So what has happened? The way we do business has changed. Earlier, it was the seller's market. There was product scarcity. There was only so much of product available, and there were limited resources. There was a supply and demand mismatch. I had to wait for 7 years to get a BSNL phone connection. Now, if I don't get my BSNL SIM in the next 1 hour, I'll go to Airtel. That was the world then. So the world today is different. Because there the seller is the king, there's only one BSNL connection. And if I don't get, I don't get it. As simple as that. But now the buyer is the king. And the supplier demand is mismatched. There are plenty of guys to come and give you. There are plenty of management courses, colleges that you can go to. So unless and until I perform better, unless and until the college gives you the best of the thing, a choice. So who do you choose a choice from? It's the unlimited options. And what is happening to the world? It's a globalized world. It's a globalized world. You know what's happening, right? I mean, if it's raining in Australia, the India-Bangladesh match is on the edge, right? It's a globalized world. The buyer not only has choice, he's spoiled for choice. Oh, you have hundreds of options available to you. The buyer is educated. Earlier, there was no education. I mean, you went to a shop and said, "Sir, which is good? Give me a good one." He'll give you what is good for him, not what's good for you. The seller needs to please the buyer. The seller needs to listen to the market. If you don't listen to the market, you're dead and out. You need to react to the market needs. This is known as the art of marketing. So after 1 hour, how many minutes? The first time I'm using the word marketing. So now can you tell me what's the difference between sales and marketing?
Marketing will decide your sales.
Marketing will decide your sales.
More actually consumer will get attracted to
The more the consumer gets attracted. Perfect. Anybody else? What is the difference between sales and marketing?
Marketing advertises our products.
Marketing advertises our products.
Which eventually increases the sales.
It eventually increases the sales. Okay.
Marketing creates a branding.
Marketing creates the branding.
Sales create eventually.
Okay. All of you got everything right, but not that important word that I mean.
Marketing is educating the customer.
Marketing is educating the customer.
Bringing awareness.
Okay, now let's look at this. Is Amit versus
Shay.
He's saying marketing is educating the customer. And what did you say? You can't change your words.
Awareness.
Marketing is bringing awareness to the customer. Both of you are wrong. Now look at what it says.
So it creates change and communication.
Creating market takes place before sales.
Okay, all that is good, but still, what's the word?
creating value.
Creating value.
It is kind of
Creating value for whom? To the product.
Marketing is to show the quality.
Marketing is.
Show the quality of our product or service.
Okay. Just shake you guys a little bit more and give me a nicer answer.
Creating demand.
Creating demand. Okay.
Increasing visibility.
Creating demand, increasing. Okay, all of you are on the wrong track. Despite reading this thing. Guys, online, can you give me one answer? Marketing, read this word.
Giving option. Giving more option.
Okay, fair enough. All of you are just there, just like you almost run out. Yeah,
See,
you're like that.
to show better what is my product is different than the competitors. Marketing helps.
Okay, fair enough, but still not there.
So understanding the requirement of the consumer,
What is that? Yeah, go ahead. What was that? Repeat it.
understanding the requirement of the consumer.
Understanding the requirement of the customer. Unless you tell you what you want. I have made the best. This product is perfect. This product, I'll tell you one example, and that example is going to come right away. You know, Nokia and its, and who was that? Good. Don't you agree that marketing is reacting to market needs, understanding what the customer wants? I don't even know what you want, and then I come up with it. If I have to make bottles of water bottles, and I believe that this is a premium water bottle, and most likely this is anti-shake, anti-vibration, anti-weather, most likely it's going to sit inside the car. So what should be the width of this? Or what should be the diameter of this? It should be so that it sits in the cup holder. Now, if I do all kinds of work and then don't even know what is the diameter of the cup holder, and I come up with a product which is bigger, it's a great product, but it doesn't fit. You haven't done market research. The second word that I'm using today is market research, is to understand what the market needs. Nokia, when it came up on its second avatar, finally Nokia came up with its own Android devices. They came up with 3-pin plugs. Come on here, how much of India do you know? You say that you know India very well. Every phone was a Nokia phone at one time. How many homes do you have 3-pin connections versus 2-pin connections? And if you have a 3-pin connector, you can't even put it in a 2-pin socket. You must know what is market wanting. You don't even know the household connections. Look at this. There might only be a 2-pin connection in most places, right? So marketing is now understanding what the customer wants. Marketing is, this is the difference between marketing and priority on the customer wants and needs. First, the customer's need and wants, and then how to satisfy it. Customers' determination of price, product, and all that. Do you guys agree with me that we've reached now what is the time? We have a break at 3. Okay, so that we'll take a 10 minutes break. So this is the difference between marketing and sales. Now look at this. Look at this brilliant companies. This is, how many of you know Pharmacy? All of us know Pharmacy, and you guys from the same sector. Now Thyrocare is a 40-year-old world's largest testing laboratory. And what happened to Thyrocare? Pharmacy picked it up. And how old is Pharmacy? 3 years, 4 years maximum, 4.5, 5. But what did Pharmacy do to pick up Thyrocare? Why? Because Thyrocare said, Mr. Deepak, right? Mr. Deepak, you want to do a test, come to my shop. My shop operates between 10 to 5. We have a 1-hour lunch break between 1 to 2. And fix up an appointment, come to this. Sorry, we are in a busy place. We don't have place for parking. You will have to find your own way to come. And we are closed on Amavasya and Purnima and all that stuff. So if you still want to come, come. So Pharmacy said, we are open 24/7. We'll come to your place. We'll take the sample. You chill out, and we will deliver the results to you on email. So who understood the customer better? So this guy saying, I'm an arrogant guy. I'm the world's largest level. It worked 20 years back. It worked for my father's generation. It's not going to work for my generation. The first thing, and I'll tell you somewhere all along the journey, is that the first reason why LG is so popular today is because LG created a feeling that we love you. How? When LG came into India, the first thing that LG did was not what everybody did. Go to MG Road, go to Connaught Place, open up showrooms. No, they started opening up service centers. So I remember a time when LG came around the mid-70s or 80s, more seriously, 80s. So when I drive from my home to work, I see 5 LG service centers. I said, wow, this is a company that I know if something happens, I know where is the service. So that is what LG, they gave you a comfort that we are reachable. And we want to do that today also. You want to buy an MI phone, or you want to, so there's that service center. Yeah, I hope it's that guy. And the service center is even nicer now. The service centers, they are open on Sundays, they do all kinds of things. So that's why Farm Easy got picked up by, or rather, Hyrocare got picked up by Farm Easy because of the impact. They are doing great sales, but they are not doing marketing. Byju's picked up Akash. Akash had so many centers, but Byju was more connected. Now, of course, Byju is in a big problem. We know they are in a real big problem. Now, look at this. How much did Tata pay to Air India to pick up Air India? 18,000 crores. And what is the value of an IPL franchisee? 2 IPL franchises which got announced, Lucknow and Gujarat. That's more than the value of Air India. What does IPL have? Nothing. It's just a paper company which can be dissolved. There is no fixed assets, but it's how the product is defined. Now IPL has become a huge property, and Air India is in bankrupt. Why? Just because you own assets is no guarantee. How close and well connected are you to the customer? Are you following me? Yes? Online?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Anybody wants to say something? No. Can you help me with the Google form? Oh, a little too late at the moment. So the only difference between marketing and sales is marketing is a loop back. Those of you who have done basic understanding of a loop back is that you get a feedback. Did I do a good job? Hey guys, are you following me? Hey guys, you think I'm making sense? Is the RPM fast? It's something like that I told you. It's because unless until you connect, I'll end up having third rise effect in the classroom, right? No, we don't want to have that effect. So even in life, remember, even in life, even in work, am I contributing to the company? Am I a pain or am I a profit to the company? You must listen to the feedback within your own organization. There were so many messages that Elon Musk kept on saying, I'm going to chop. And today, I think 50% of these guys are gone. But those who did go, hoping that they will survive, maybe they got their severance letter yesterday or maybe. So that's what it is. Marketing is a closed loop system. Sales is an open loop system. You sell the product, that's it. The guy who's selling to you on the road is selling you that, car window shade. If that breaks down, where do you go? You don't even know, but you buy from a shop, there's some bit of accountability. So this is something that you understand the product. Now, more explanations of the product. This is something for you to read and talk about. I'll not get there. But before we get there, let's look at man's basic needs. What are man's basic needs?
Food, water,
Yeah, so food, water, clothing. And the fourth one recently added.
Shelter.
Internet, data, whatever, right? I mean, we can't live without it. It sounds crazy. I'm doing an Excel sheet, I'm doing a PPT. My internet is not working, I don't feel like it. I don't need it, but it's a mental framework. Yesterday morning, 5 o'clock onwards till evening 7, we had no internet. I didn't know what to do. But I can do a lot of things. I can take my computer, I can do a lot of things. At least can clean the junk. No internet. That's the man's mentality. We have got into that habit. So man needs food, shelter. This is employment. The worst thing that I can punish you is to say sit and do nothing. That's the biggest punishment. is to give you nothing. Okay, the worst is social. Man is a social animal. If you isolation is the best one, and you know, during the pandemic, a lot of people went into madness because they were isolated. And thanks to WhatsApp and thanks to all this Netflix and all that, otherwise we would have gone mad. I mean, I was also a victim of the second wave, and I got myself isolated for 20 days, but I caught up with every known movie. So I didn't have any problem, but otherwise you could be a mad guy. It'd be tough. So man has basic needs, sense of security, and the most important thing man needs is power. At one time in your career, you would rather take a lower pay and have more people to pay. Because power is something that's a very fundamental need. So man has needs, but needs are not enough. Man wants to convert his needs to wants. What is need versus want? I need rice, but I want French fries. That's it. That's the basic definition. If you have so many jokes going on. The beggar comes every day and then he says, "Hey, why is it you bring the same rice? Why don't you give me something else for food?" So everybody, you need to move from needs to wants. And how do we benefit from needs to wants? As marketing guys, we'll find a million ways to converge from needs to wants. Look at this. This one example I have on the top is typically there used to be 30 gadgets that we used to go on a holiday. Now all of that has become a single gadget, torch and radio, and you know this joke is all going out there. Look at this. People are standing in the queue for a movie ticket. Now it's all been replaced by Book My Show and things like that because they have understood the problem. So now this coffee shop is saying, I have no customers. Then Swiggy or Uber is saying, no problem. I'll find customers for you. Well, I'll take your coffee to the other place. And there is, how many of us haven't broken it? What is it called? A mobile glass. And then you come up with Gorilla Glass, which says, I know your problem. I'm going to solve it for you. So once you identify a man's needs, and then you find a solution for it, you become a more successful company. This is a little bit funny. I don't know. I'll probably leave it. There was this big war that was going on between Cold War. Cold War is not really a war, but between Russia and, or it was called Soviet Union and America. So who will be the first person to go on space? And unfortunately, it's the Russians who launched what is known as a Sputnik, correct. So, but how do you know they launched it? They could be bullshitting. So, right. So what the Americans did is that they put up an antenna and a receiver on this to keep looking at the sky. And they noticed that when the Sputnik was far away, the signal strength was very low. And when that Sputnik went right over the antenna, the signal strength was very high. And then it started fading. So they realized, yes, there is really an object which the Russians have put, and they were able to monitor it. Now turn this whole desire to confirm somebody's satellite in the world, you end up with what's known as a GPS system. It's just the other way around. Now, instead of you looking for the satellite is looking for you, and you end up with having a GPS system. So you see, how do you convert a want into a need? And then you start using it into your benefit. This is again, as I said, not my slide, it's your slide. So there are all kinds of needs. They are stated needs, they are real needs, unstated needs, delight needs, and secret needs. When the customer walks in, and okay, one more thing. We have 6 classes. Till the first 3 classes, we will be basically concentrating on B2C. Because B2C is easier to understand, the concepts are nicer. I can talk about food, I can talk about mobile, I can talk about OTT and all that stuff. But class 4, 5, 6, we switch to B2B. And most of us, if I know your jobs, Most of us are actually in the B2B business. But we spent first how much is that? 9 hours talking about B2C, and then we move to B2C. Okay. So there are stated needs, real, unstated, and delight needs. Have a look at it. We'll probably talk about it a little later and we go on. Okay, now give me some example of needs, wants, and demands. Some example of needs, wants, and demands. A basic need then gets converted into a want and then into a demand.
Mobile is a need. Internet is one.
Internet, yeah. How does it work? Whoever said that? Mobile. Yeah, so okay, I guess I'll help you complete it. So initially you were happy with 2 MB connection, or I think I'll not consume more than 10 GB per month. I mean 10 GB, 10 MB per month, and then now any amount of internet is really short. Just to tell you a story of the internet, is that one of the first jobs that I used to work with. I hope there's a friend here. Okay, I'll live without it. So the first time India privatized internet, that was in the year 1999, 2000. They said, what is an ISP? Internet service provider. Example of an ISP? Airtel, all of them are ISPs. Airtel, Wipro, Net, or whatever. They said an ISP can only have 4 Mbps per 1. So imagine an ISP is serving Bangalore and the ISP bandwidth is just 4 Mbps per 1 in 1999. And today, if your ISP gives you 4 MB per 1 Mbps, you throw it. So man's needs are constantly rising. Now, I don't know what is your internet speed. My internet speed is 90 Mbps. Oh my God, we are 300 Mbps. Next day I'm going and changing it. So this is what is constant rise of wants and demands. Okay. That will then bring us into it. Somebody has to tell me when it's 3. Okay. How many of you know what's Maslow's hierarchy? Help me out. Let her, you, and you. Okay. Give me what is Maslow's pyramid of hierarchy?
Okay, starts basically from basic needs and it goes up to, it's a pyramid which goes up to self-activation, like where we get the full satisfaction. That is what
Life has some meaning and sense.
that has been written by Maslow, that separate stories that Maslow.
Anything you want to add to those? I was never used fight in this man and this
that basic, which are the basic needs which require survival. Then it comes to say
by one, and man eventually evolves. Yeah, around man eventually around. So for the rest of you, obviously we are here in the class and it's good to get help from others. So Maslow said that man has some very primitive needs. Just like, I need shelter. I need food, water, and security. That's the fundamental thing I need. I want to make sure that there's food for tomorrow. I want to make sure that there's water and a place to stay. But after that, once I've secured my food and thing, I want to feel secure. What if somebody comes and robs me of my food? What if somebody comes and robs me of my family? What if somebody comes and snatches off my kids? Anything could happen, right? I mean, being held. So first, basic requirement. Second is sense of safety. Once you've got a sense of comfort, you have a sense of security. Now you start feeling nice. Now you say, good. I want it. Now I think I've got a good job. I think there's no Elon Musk in my company. My job is safe. Okay. I think it's good. My boss told me you're doing well. I think I'll be happy. Right? So that's how it is. Love, intimacy, relationship. That's where you go. Nowhere, right? No food, no water. I want to marry you. Crazy or what? So that's how we do it. And then after all this, Amit is going to say, sir, I naya car le liya hai. So the feeling of accomplishment. You see, my God, you see, and then I look at Amit's car and say, Amit, what is this man? Amit is not an Audi. And I think I have to change my car. Because I also have that feeling of jealousy. Saying that he's done well, I need to do well. All of it is man's stages of thinking. Eventually go and say, all this is rubbish. And all this is what is life, after all, nothing else. We have a sense of accomplishment. That's when Narayan Murthy, that's when Bill Gates, that's when these two guys from, what is that, who started a new research center in IAC, that is Happiest Minds, and somebody, they invested 400 crores. Now they give away. The concept of Steve Jobs, the concept of maybe Narayan Murthy is zero to the grave. What does zero to the grave mean? When I'm going to the grave, my current account, my savings bank account, zero, what do I do with it? But if you look at pyramids, the pharaoh is filled with all kinds of stuff. So a Maslow's hierarchy of needs states that every man is in a certain level. And where are you today? Maybe I'm somewhere struggling here. Maybe you guys have already reached there. It's an individual's concept. It's all okay, perfectly fine. So, what does marketing got to do with this? What is the product that you are selling? Depends on whom are you addressing. If I am selling you child relief on you, or donation to some Anath ashram. Hey, chalo yaar, main naukri itself sawal mein, where is this question of this? So when you are addressing this person, he will not be interested in these kinds of things. Somebody like Steve Jobs, or he's dead and gone. Somebody like anybody else, like they say, sir, a holiday trip to Thailand, we have a 50% discount. I don't think Narayan Murthy, it matters to him, but somebody sitting out here might find it interesting. So each of this are the hierarchy of needs, and your product can also be. Very well said. And one last afterthought. Remember, this is not thought, afterthought. Maslow said, I think I made a big mistake. I think I made a very big mistake by saying that the fundamental need of man is food and water. The second is security. I should have actually tilted the pyramid. He said, had I told that the fundamental need of man is self-actuation, there would have been no wars. So that was what he said, is that, I mean, whether it's a fact or not, but he believed that there could be an alternate thought. So for the guys who are more worried about marks and exams, I can bet that you're going to get a few questions. So anybody, questions? Or have you understood? Okay. Now look at this. What we are going to do over the next 10 minutes, what is the time? 5 minutes, right? We'll take a break here. Take a right place to take a break. We'll have a 15 minutes break. We'll come back and then we'll do companies which did not follow the thing. I'll also give you something to work around. Right? But before you go, any questions online? All of you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Following me. Perfect. All right. See you guys. I'll see you exactly in 15 minutes. And by the way, what's the score?
45.
What was that? How many overs? 13. Okay, we are back after a break. And just for my sake, can you hear me online?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I was having an interesting conversation with, who was I talking to? Over coffee, with coming down the stairs. Where are you? Here. So your name? Hanuman. Hanuman. I was talking to Hanuman, and then we're saying that Even the professors need to adapt because the subject is constantly evolving. I cannot overemphasize that fact when it comes to the subject of marketing. What I taught 2 terms back, the syllabus has changed over this term. Every term, there's something new being added. There's something old that's being forgotten. We don't want to overemphasize on the old subjects, new topics, new discussions. Come. Yes. Okay, so anyway, so the point is that marketing is understanding the customer, knowing what the customer needs and creating a product that works for him, rather than sitting in a closed room somewhere and saying, here is that beautiful app that I built. I spent 100,000 hours working on it. I did some great work. What if that app is useless? Unless you know what your customer wants, right? So here are lots of companies, when you look at it, it's just how they connect with the customer that makes the difference. Let's look at the very first product, which says food. Food has not changed, you see. It's the same dosa which was made 100 years back, it's the same concept, the same ratio and all that. But it's everything around the food that has changed. You would walk in, or there's only one NPR, or there's only one Vidyarthi Bhavan, and then he says, I franchise. So what's happening? He is reaching out to more and more people, but it's the same food, it's the same meal, it's the same calorification. Then you have somebody who says, okay, should I go there or not? No, hang on, come to me, I'm Zomato, I'll give you a review of the place, and then you can decide whether to go. The food still remains the same. So I'm saying the product is the same. The connect is the tadka, is the one that's being the spice which is there. Then they say, why do you want to even do the review? I'll bring the food to your house. So that's, you know, what's happening, right? And finally, the other way around, why should you as a restaurant exist at all? No need for you to exist. You can be in the cloud. So you have cloud kitchens. You don't even know where your favorite restaurant is. Right? And there could be imaginary restaurants created by Swiggy and Zomato. They don't even restaurant. Bombay, Vada Pav, in South Bangalore, there could be no such place. But then they'll just tingle your mouth and then you say, let's go. So that's what it is. Even travel. Travel hasn't changed, but the way the connect is. They say tickets, no tickets, agents, and everything. Cab. Everything is the same. So this is it's the same taxi driver, it's the same guy, but the connect is becoming different. Earlier, I would stand and wait for a taxi. Now I book for a taxi. Now I'm not happy with that at all. So how do I differentiate myself? How do I feel great? How does Ola and Uber differentiate? Okay, Ola says, okay, Ola Black or Uber Black, whatever it is, we give you premium service. You can have cushioned seats. Then Ola says, that's okay, but we'll give you Ola, what is it called, Primer or Premier. The moment I walk in, it says, welcome, Mr. Ramesh. It's a great feeling. That's what connects. It's how closer that you connect with each of them. That can go on and on, these kind of explanations. But despite that, so many companies have failed. So many companies have failed. Netflix was started by Red Hastings. Now, what made Red Hastings start a company is that he would go to Blockbuster and then he would borrow a CD. And then if you don't return the CD in 2 days or 3 days, then you have to pay a penalty. So then the story goes that this guy went and tried to return it. And they said, sorry, you delayed over the weekend. So you pay $10. But $10, I get a CD. So what's something wrong? You are actually penalizing the customer for borrowing the CD from. So he started off with Netflix. He said, just drop the CD in any post box and we'll collect it. He understood one customer requirement. Then he said, as he started doing, he seamlessly moved from there to an OTT solution. Perfectly, as long as you understand the customer, you will do better in your business. Look at this. I don't know how many of you work out of WeWorks. Anybody from a WeWork? I work out of the WeWork office. In my opinion, there's no difference between WeWork and Starbucks. Starbucks says you pay for the coffee and you sit whole day. WeWork says sit whole day, we'll provide you coffee. Just the same thing. It's just that how you connect with us. Before, what is the difference between Jio and Airtel and Idea and all of that? They would say, pay for voice, data is free. Now, Jio says, pay for data, voice is free. That's it. And he just played around with it, right? And then there was a very smart guy. I don't know how many of you remember this guy called Tata Docomo. Tata Docomo said, I will bill you earlier, minimum billing is 3 minutes. So my wife calls me and says, are you coming home? What early? What's the reply? Mostly no, late, right? So to say that, how long it takes? 10 seconds. But I get billed for 3 minutes. So Tata Docomo said, no, we'll bill you by the minute. That's a brilliant plan. Nothing has changed. The solution hasn't changed. You change the rules of the game. Once you change the rules of the game, having understood the customer, you win over the business. And look at what Jio is doing now. We'll talk somewhere in the next classes how Jio is able to move this. Look at this. Same product, the promotion is a driver. Summer holidays, Boost, you get one racket. So overnight, your children are excited about Boost. They want, mommy, give me Boost. Till yesterday, they were not willing to have it. But what's selling? It's not the Boost which is selling. It's the badminton racket which is. So what do? It's the same product. The promotion is different. I don't know how many of you know this Kinder Joy. Nobody eats the chocolate. They just throw it and play with the toys. That's what it is. So that's the promotion. This is an interesting promotion. One airline said, you fly with us, your wife flies free. Lots of people flew, their wives never came to know about it. They took somebody here. So this is how it works. And Samsung says free screen replacement. You're really happy. Are you going to drop this mobile just because you're going to give you a free replacement? The money is built in, everything is built in, but gives you, they say, I understand your problem. You have slippery hands, your phone will fall, people replace it. So understanding the customer, repeatedly I'm saying, understanding the customer, knowing what he wants is what gives you this. This is one of the brilliant examples of understanding the customer. A bottle of Head and Shoulders cost 74 rupees. Now, this guy said, the poor cannot afford something. So he said, it's the same product, but a different user. So he said, I'll give shampoos for the poorest of the poor. For 1 rupee, I'll give you a chick hair shampoo. Head and Shoulders laughed when he introduced this. Procter & Gamble laughed when they introduced this. Hindustan Lever laughed. But he said, I know in the Maslow's pyramid, there is somebody who can pay only 1 rupee. And today, you get Head and Shoulders also for 1. It's because he has changed the market. He has concept of that thing. And we all need some change. Like you can't buy a big packet of Head and Shoulders and last you a whole year. But we talk about what happens when you buy bigger packets later on. Okay? So this is more about it. And look at this. In my opinion, it's a great car. I remember when it was $1,000 car, people were 1,000 or 2,000, $2,000, whatever. They said it was a great car. It did a lot of things, but the marketing was really pathetic. Why? Because Mr. Tata said, you're a poor guy. You cannot afford a car. You can only afford a scooter. I feel sorry for you. I'll bring you an app. Why would anybody buy it? If Amit buys a Nano, will say, yeah, Amit, kya ho gaya, naukri? So that's what is a question that's going to come up. So you projected yourself as a car for those who cannot afford one. That's a wrong thing. You're hurting my pride. I would rather buy a second-hand Maruti, but I will not buy one. It's because you're saying it's cheap. What he should have done is that he should have given a social responsibility. This guy should have been guilty that I'm sorry, I'm driving a big SUV. I have a nano at home. So I am also environmentally friendly. This is what it is. So your product is fine. Your pricing is brilliant, but you really don't know how to promote the product. And then you land up in a big mess. Now Tatas have learned some brilliant lessons. In probably class 5 or class 6, we'll talk about how Tata was able to turn around. We can go on and on. This is not a problem. This is another great example. Nokia has been a leader for years. I don't know how many of you ever had the old Nokia Symbion phone. Anybody? You had. Wow, what a lovely phone it is. It was a brilliant phone. I don't know. I remember the one with the small antenna popping up. Yeah. And that was a time when we had this taxis, which are Maruti vans. And I take that taxi to the airport. I hold the mobile phone in my hand and I slide the taxi door. Zoop, the phone flies 3 pieces. That's it. Least for that go, touch all 3 pieces and walk. Absolutely reliable. But I could only save 100 contacts. But I would decide, okay, now who is going to move out of my contact to have another? Brilliant phone. We loved it. Undisputed leader in the business. But where is he today? Dead. Why? Because Nokia said, you don't need a dual SIM. The market said, we need dual SIM. We want to separate life from business. The phone number that I have shared with you on mine is a separate number. Now I know if this call comes, it's one of my students calling it. I baad mein dekh lenge. Okay. So we wanted a dual SIM. But Nokia says, no, you don't need it. Nokia never came up with a dual SIM. But the customer says, I know. No, I know what. No, they said Symbion is dead. Give us something else. No. If you don't listen to the market will throw you. Simple technology. Now, can you give me some examples of companies or products which didn't do well? BlackBerry is another example. Kodak? Why? What went wrong?
I think they didn't go for digital camera, digital. They stuck with the old negative film lens.
Absolutely. They thought that that wouldn't happen, right? Yeah. Anything else? No other company, only Kodak.
Spice as well.
Which one?
Spice.
Spice?
They're actually among the base.
They all just guide us. Can't think of anything else? Or what about them?
They also wind up because
They were not able to compete. Nobody else can't think of other names? Beyond mobile phones, so many products, so many companies. Snapdeal, where is Snapdeal? Gone. Where is Future Group? Gone. But at one time, the only place you would hang out would be that big bazaars and where are they now? They are now, he's in big trouble. They don't see the future. Products that fail. Very odd example. They said with Godrej Ganga. That was a time when Ganga itself was very dirty. So you came up with a product which said Godrej Ganga. Great idea. Wrong timing. But who wants to be, it was at that time there was a lot of controversy around the Ganga being a very dirty place. And Kellogg's, they took years and years to understand the India market. How do we drink milk? Simple, hot. That's it. If you want to have cold milk, you're going to have your wife or your mom scold you and say, that's not the way the milk is had. But how do the Americans have it? Cold right out of the refrigerator. Now, when you put cold milk on it, Kellogg's cornflakes, it remains crispy. What happens when you put hot boiling milk on Kerala? I'm sorry. They took years and years to understand that the mind of the thing. And they say that we change the habits of the Indians. Indians who be eating poha and rava dosa for breakfast, they'll start eating. Didn't happen. Finally, we have masala oats coming up. So that is the power of what if you don't listen to the market. Now, companies which fail, I thought I'll give you guys something to work on, and then we'll cut it. Now we come to a first slide. What does this slide say? Anybody can explain the slide?
Price, demand and supply,
Yeah, so what happens when price falls?
demand,
Consumption increases, right? The price of internet fall, I guess you will be a little more liberal with your usage. Or the price of rice falls, you will consume more rice. The price of petrol falls, you will drive more.
some
Yeah,
extent,
no?
yes, yes.
Price of petrol rises.
We drive market.
Yeah, so what about petrol? Price falls, price doesn't fall, what happens?
Logistic increases.
Logistic increases. Certain commodities don't categorize in the thing because there's kind of couple. What happens if the price of electricity goes up? You're going to switch off the lights?
But we
It
very,
will be more tolerant. It will be more. So one fundamental graph says that as the price of the product falls, consumption of the product rises. Correct? Very simple. It's all well understood. Now, is there an exception to that? Your curve. This is your page. Look at this. I'm saying price falls, consumption rises. Very good. Price falls, consumption falls. What's this? When does consumption fall when the price falls? Example,
It's a commodity which cannot last long.
a commodity which cannot last
Spoil
long,
earlier.
or what else could have happened?
Vegetables, example.
Yeah, so beyond a point, even with the price that you're not going to buy what in vegetables. Okay, what is the other example? Price falls, consumption falls. China products, if you know they are from China. Okay, so what happens beyond a point? Beyond a point, are you going to buy a nano car for 20,000? No, because it's not. There's something wrong with it. And 3 years back, all car companies were giving you huge discounts for Bharat 4 cars. Because the government of India said Bharat 4 or Bharat 5, I don't know whatever that was. Saying that you will have to get rid of your stop production of Bharat 4 category cars from April some year. And so they are willing to give. Your junk is not my junk. Sorry, I won't buy it. So what happens is when a certain value of a product falls beyond our imagined value, then we feel something is wrong. If I sell you, I say I have an iPhone, take it, I'll give it to you 5,000. You won't think I'm being generous. You will think that there's something wrong with it. So that happens. But what about another situation where price rises and consumption rises? What is that? The price of the product has gone up and the consumption has gone up. When does that happen? Geo.
When the demand is high.
Now what is that?
When the demand is high.
When the demand is high, okay, that's one thing. That's what I'm saying. The demand goes up, but why would the demand go when the price has gone up?
Because of the supply.
Okay, assuming that supply is no big issue,
It has become habitual to the
it becomes an habitude of
Monopoly, because of monopoly.
assuming there is no monopoly.
If the product is good, it is marketed.
If the product is good and marketed well, and you're willing to do it. Okay, anybody else can give me example?
Thinking in future that product may not be available in long.
Thinking, okay, now I'll get you to modify it, is thinking that the price of the product has increased because the quality of the product has increased and hence the higher price. And that could be one answer. Is that iPhone, whatever that next series is 1,25,000. Oh, maybe they have the best cameras. Maybe they have the best privacy features. Maybe they have some radiation control features. So we believe that there's certain features in the product which makes it good. So right now we are talking about three things. One map, which is or one graph which is very clear. Price fall, consumption rises all the time. Price falls, consumption falls is when I doubt the product. Price rises, consumption rises is under two different categories, and we will understand those two categories. There are what are known as Griffin goods. Griffin goods are those which are low quality products, and when their prices fall, their consumption rises. Very funny is that it is to say that these are very inferior products or low item or low value products like cost of price of rice, price of wheat. So what Griffin Goods says that when the price of rice increases, people will consume more rice. That is Griffin Goods. How does that happen? I'll give you an example. They are all inferior goods. Okay. Now, look at this map very carefully. Look at this picture very carefully. It's a small household, a poor man's household. What is his salary? His salary is about $400 or 400, whatever you want to consider. What is his consumption? He consumes 40 kilos of rice and he consumes 10 kilos of wheat. Rice costs 5 rupees or $5 and wheat costs $20. So how much is his total expenditure? 400. Now overnight, the price of rice has gone. And rice is a fundamental product for him. He has to survive because of rice only. So what does he do? He will continue to, if the price of rice becomes 6, he will have to spend $440 with the same consumption rate. And of course, he doesn't have $440. He has only $400. So what does he do? He consumes more rice, which is 43 kilos of rice, and reduces on the second product, which is wheat, and hence the consumption of wheat reduces, and he is still within budget. So these are known as Griffin goods. Griffin goods are those inferior goods in which, because of the fall of increase in price, the consumption rises. Understood? And more easier or a more better way of understanding the idea is that if a man has idli vada for breakfast every day, one idli, one vada for breakfast, and if the price of idli goes up, complete the sentence. He will have 2 idlis, but he'll skip the vada. So that is how the basic concepts of Griffin goods is. Have you understood Griffin? And so now, but there are other goods which are known as Veblen goods. What are Veblen goods? Veblen goods are positional goods. Well, are like high design bag or Louis Vuitton shirts, luxury items, gold items, diamond. Here she is with diamond rings. Okay, so when she'll be more happy when the price of diamond goes up, because it gives you a positional feeling. It gives you a feeling that I can afford it. It's a feeling saying that, oh, you know what? The price of gold has gone up by 20%. Okay, I'm going today and buying gold. That's the kind of there are certain societies which do that. So Veblen goods are those goods which are perceived to have high quality. That's what I said. The next iPhone, I'm willing to buy an iPhone because there are certain features which I believe is very good, and they are positional goods. The very fact that I am wearing an iWatch or something like that, makes you guys think different about me. So those are what are Veblen goods. So what is the difference between Veblen goods and Griffin goods? European goods are inferior goods, Weblen goods are expensive goods, and both of their consumption rises when the price rises. Okay, understood? Okay, good. This is another curve to it, which is, so the price to consumption therefore is a non-linear curve because of the word market. Why do people buy more of Weblen goods? Because they are beautifully marketed. Because they give you a feeling that, I mean, the very fact that I'm having an eye wash, I feel that or let's say, you feel like Shah Rukh Khan if you wear a product which is advertised by Shah Rukh. So this is what is it. And remember, this is the book that you're going to be reading about, right? Any questions online? Silence.
No.
Just, yeah.
As we said that, understand the market, study about the customer consumer behavior, then launch their product. But sometimes what we feel is that the researchers or the marketers itself has created the demand to make the customers buy.
True. Example?
Like we said, dual SIM is not actually the customer's mind that I need the dual SIM, but they created like that customer is enticing to take that.
No. But I know where you're heading at, but that's probably a wrong example. Many a time, okay, there are, I know what you're saying, but the dual SIM is a wrong idea. I remember there used to be a time, actually, even if you look at it, I'll take a minute out and anyway, you guys will get used to. In my class, I go all over the place, go here, there, and then come back to the class. So I'll have a lot of storytelling. So one of the things was that the Indian market or the Indian mobile companies totally misunderstood the Indian market initially. If you look at it, initially, the pricing of the mobile phone charges, communication charges was 17 rupees per minute. Ingoing and outgoing. Correct. So they felt that's only the richest of the rich who can afford 17 rupees per minute, incoming and outgoing. What they did not perceive is that it's the proprietor companies which needed this the most. Because every decision in that company had to be taken by the proprietor. And if that proprietor is out to see a movie or out to see the hotel, business comes to a stop. He is willing to pay 17 rupees ingoing and outgoing to give a yes or a no answer. So initially, the mobile companies got it wrong. They realized later that it is the medium, small scale industries which were the first to pick up the phones because they were able to communicate with their small shop. Whereas in large companies, in my absence, there is somebody else to take a decision. So those were the ones who started having 3 phones. It was a market-driven intention which made them go there. So it was on there. But there are lots and lots of products that you are saying is that which the market is driven through. For example, the most brilliant example is you can never imagine the world before 2005-6 where you could have a phone without a keyboard. Did Steve Jobs do a research to say that, hey guys, do you want to have a keyboard on your phone or can you live without it? And crazy or what? A phone without a keyboard is unimaginable. I loved the BlackBerry that I had only because it had a QWERTY keyboard. And I was one of the last converters. I refused to buy an iPhone because I said, I don't believe I can live with a keyless phone. But those are crazy guys in business. The once in a while, one Steve Jobs comes. Once in a while, one Tesla, Mr. Elon Musk comes. But other than that, without market research, if you go at it, you're risking yourself very, very. So we will talk about it. So you get the point. Very, very, very. I'll give you one more example. There's a very famous picture. I used to have it. I keep changing my slides. There used to be a picture in New York, Times Square. I'll get the years wrong, but that's not the point. It's 1902. 1902, Times Square is full of horse-driven carts and 2 motor cars. 1906, same picture, full of motor cars and 2 horse-driven cars. Nobody could visualize that in 6 years, the entire transportation in US would change from horse-driven cars to motor cars. And today we are in the crux of it. I believe in the next 3-4 years, the balance between ICE engines and electric engine will change. But who's risking it? That's the point. Okay, so I hope you guys got this. Then, this is exactly the point. Maverick CEOs have a different category of guys. He knows everything. Steve Jobs kind of visualizes, but then once in a while, there's one Steve Jobs, one Shah Rukh Khan, right? Not necessarily the other one. Okay, so this is the other concept. What's the time? Keep an eye on the clock.
343.
3:43. Okay, so the point which comes with Steve Jobs is when we think of Steve Jobs, what do you think of? Apple. So they are constant advertisers of the company. So whenever Steve Jobs walks, he's actually marketing for it. Does Apple have Shah Rukh Khan to market their products? The greatest of the companies have the least marketing expenses. How much do you think is Apple spending on marketing? Do you think Apple will ever sponsor an IPL? You don't need it. Yeah, I'm sitting here loudly showing you that I have an Apple laptop. And the standard joke used to be that there's this guy who's newly joined the company and he's taking his flight from Bangalore to somewhere else. And they're just announcing last call. This guy goes, sits at the entry point, opens his laptop, just checks it for 2 minutes and shuts the laptop. Which brand of laptop does he have? There's only one brand, it's Apple. Because you want to project to the world that you have an Apple and you're constantly advertising. But it's secondary products like other things which need somebody. So Mavericks are always advertising. Look at this. No, I'm going along. Look at this. Do you think any Apple guy would put this sticker on his? Why? Why would he not do that? This, and I used to always say, look at this. US Polo. I'll give you Ram Raj. Will you wear it? No. I thought you're walking all around diesel and whatever. I'm big. I don't know. This is a small side. You should look at the size of those. You're blatantly advertising for somebody else. And these are products which are greatly advertised. So now, if you guys have all agreed, let's look at why we dislike marketing and what is a good impact. What is good about marketing? What is bad about it? What can you say good about it? Whichever way. I'll split this into that. Let's say how many of you say, you guys say bad things about marketing, you guys say good things about it. Let's see how many of you.
But whoever says good, but they also have the points about bad.
That's what. Then the next 2 slides are discussion about what is good and bad. So what's bad about marketing?
Bad about marketing is to give wrong information.
To give wrong information, I wouldn't think so. I'll let that go.
Rather than hide the information?
They hide the information. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, hide it. I don't think you can survive if you don't have an Apple Watch. Something that happens to you. How? Yeah, but that's what it is. Yeah, what is good about it?
And it's bad is entice the people.
It entices people to buy even if it's not necessary. Yeah, I think, did you not buy that earphone? Do you have an earphone?
I have.
See, you say they're not good habits. That's right. Which one do you have? You know, right? Change it. Buy a new one. So what is good about marketing? What is good about
It explains the product.
Let them say, we are dividing the team into two.
Connecting to emotions.
Connecting to emotions is good thing. You've been very quiet, the lady in the red sweater. Yeah, so what is good about marketing? You're thinking. That's good. Marketing makes you think.
Bringing
Okay, so what
creativity,
is- Huh? What is that?
bringing creative, bringing creativity.
Increases? No, very fundamental. What is good about marketing?
Gives us the option.
How did you come to know about an executive MBA program? How did you even know that there is such a program exists? Somebody is marketing it. Somebody is talking about it. How do you know this is? What is an Infosys ad for? Why does Infosys put a, or Infosys or anybody for that matter, put up a huge Wednesday Economic Times, Times of India ad looking that we are looking for guys? One of the things that, you know what, we decided to do when we did a startup is to put up an ad for resume, put up an ad for people. We are a new startup satellite company. We're looking for satellite engineers. We are looking for business development guys. We actually are not looking for anybody, but we're just advertising. So it gives you awareness of such an existence. Of course, we didn't put that because that will be criminal. But I'm saying that awareness of the existence of the product. What else is good about marketing? What is the whole idea of the credit system? Marketing makes the economy drive, right? Without marketing, how will business happen? How will people not buy? You don't even know there's a product. So any other good things and bad things about marketing?
So I would like to say one bad thing, which I think that marketing is like sometimes it also promotes products or brands which is not good on ethical ground, means fairness creams or maybe tobacco, which are not good for health but still been promoted or advertised. So I feel this is not a good part of marketing. If
Absolutely, that's a brilliant answer. Yeah, you just seem to read my slide before I put it. Excellent, very good. No, she started off even before I put the slide. Very good, very true. It gives you social discriminator. Are you not using Fair and Lovely? Oh my God! I know. Yeah, and you know, like promoting materialistic lifestyle. Is that, oh, you don't have that vacuum cleaner in your house? You don't have a problem. Don't care for the earth. I'm telling you, this is serious. The amount of advertising, the amount of paper that is gone up. Do they really care for it? And they're doing a lot of illegal things. Marketing of our friend will talk more about tobacco and alcohol, right? And so if you do plan for out, everybody knows what the product is. Everybody, then when you open your mouth, you have kesari coming out. We all know, but what can we do about it? And it's happening. And what is his name? Akshay Kumar said, I'm sorry, but now he's doing it. But that's what it is. It makes you spend more than you can afford. Those are the bad things about marketing. There are good things too. Otherwise, good thing is it upgrades lifestyle. It tells you that there's a better life ahead, and man has to have a better life, right? You should have a better life. Promotes business and trade, generates job, awareness. You know such a that. What was the biggest marketing campaign that happened in the year 2020 and 21? Redefine that word that you said. Sanitizer or the vaccination campaign. So huge campaign, right? What was they were marketing the product, saying take the vaccination, it's good for you. It's a awareness, social marketing. Now there's so much of it, which is Mr. I'm over to tell you Mr. Tobacco, but no, I wouldn't. Yeah, which is the new tobacco. Which is the new tobacco? Sugar is the new tobacco. Now, sugar is, social awareness, obesity. Or what is your BMI index? I never knew what was BMI index about 7, 8 years back. Now, what is your PMI index? Is it good or bad? This is really developing a thing and revive graying audience. Old concepts, old cultures are all dying. So this is what it is. You might get to ask, you'll get to be asked one or two questions about what's good and bad about marketing. And what is marketing? Goods, services, events, persons, places, organization, informations, and ideas are marketed. There are more here. A city is being marketed. Visit Dubai. That's a huge marketing campaign, right? Visit Dubai. Person. Yeah, maybe some Shah Rukh Khan show or something like that. Event Qatar 2022. And social, Ab Ki Baar Modi Sarkar is a huge marketing campaign. What is it? It's nothing but a marketing. End polio now. I guess I put this ad or put this slide before we even knew the word pandemic. And I remember the word pandemic. None of us knew what was the word pandemic. Yes. And I used to work with a company long back, and they had a high-speed modem, a high-speed satellite modem. And they said the high-speed satellite modem, and we didn't know how to pronounce the word. It's called tsunami, because we never knew that the T was silent. And when I was working there, I was talking about 83, 84, 85. And then when the tsunami hit Chennai, all of us knew that the T was silent. I remember that. Nobody knew what was that. All this to make fun. Hey, what is this? Yeah, this guy has this high-speed modem called tsunami. But 23rd December, I think Chennai was hit by a huge tsunami, and everybody knows that the T is silent. So that is what is the power of marketing, right? Any other things that you guys want to add to the conversation? And then I'll get into last 2 points. I just want to make sure that I'm not overstepping. What is the time? Perfect. I think I'll do this in 25 minutes. Perfect. So, what did we do in today's class? In today's class, I've basically been getting you to understand what's marketing. Why should you be spending the next 18 hours or something like that? We began by asking you what is the definition of marketing. Began by asking you what do you think is your understanding of marketing? Is it science? Is it this? In the next subsequent classes, we'll see how much of science is involved in marketing. Okay? And we also gave you an introduction. Myself, you gave me an introduction. Then we looked at sales versus marketing, gave some examples of sales versus marketing. And then we said, what else did we discuss? Maslow's pyramid we discussed. Then we talked about the curves, which are the two curves, Veblen and Veblen curves. Okay. Finally, we're going to talk about two more subjects. One is product life cycle. How many of you know what's a product? So give me, if you're going to raise your hand, give me with an example. Give me a product which have had a beginning, had a growth, and have died. Can you think of a product? There's so many products. There's one right here. Yes.
I think I can give an example from
Yeah.
pharma industry. Where
Oh yeah, sure.
it actually starts from an idea, 1 out of 10,000, where it goes towards the molecule way, then experimenting on human, then in human, then production. Then sustaining the market is the biggest challenge of any form of business class. It's like starting, creation, production, market, then the sustainability. That is not over 5 years. Once it started, or we end, and where do we start?
And finally, what happens to them?
Depends on product. Is
Yeah,
still
because the point is every product has a life. It eventually dies, like a human being. Every product has a life and it dies. But there was a time when there were mobile pagers. I don't know how many of you have ever used a pager in your life. I used to use a pager. I used to work with the paging company, used to do paging installations. So, but that's a great product then. But then that is a one-way communication device. That's it. Who wants it now? It all dies. So every product goes through what is known as an introduction phase, a growth phase. Introduction phase is that phase where your product is being introduced to the market. The market doesn't know how to react to it. Buy this soap. This soap is good. Okay, but this soap comes with some harm-free chemicals or animal, anti-animal, or whatever that is. Then there is a growth. That's when the market adapts to you. And over a period of time, that's the period when you can make the best money. People want your product, they try to make money, then that product dies. It's over. No longer are you be interested in typewriters, or no longer are we interested in cable television or things like that. That product dies. And finally, it declines and there's no more. I don't think there's anybody who's using Colgate tooth powder as such. But it was a huge period of time, and maybe it can make a comeback if there is some great liking. So product life cycle as such is not a new concept. Most of us have learned product life cycles in some way or the other. And we have so many examples of products which are good, do well, and die. But this is a management class. This is a new management class. We don't talk about old theories. The first time that we're going to talk about is new theories. The new theories that we're going to talk is called the law of diffusion of innovation. What does that mean? That means that now products may not be physical products. Name a product which is not physical. 10,000. What name one? Which are that? Websites are not physical. Netflix is not physical. WhatsApp is not physical. Where you don't get to feel it. All that. So now we are all busy developing apps. Now we are busy developing software solutions. But the definition of the product, and remember one thing, the slide before and the slide after is a very, very important, because I forgot to mention the difference. Here, we're talking about the product. Who owns the product? Who owns it? The company owns. Now, what's marketing? Marketing is not about the company owning the product. Marketing is about how the customer is going to react. You are saying, my product has a growth, my product has maturity, my product has decline. That's the wrong way. How does the customer react to your product? So the law of diffusion of innovation is centered around the customer and not around the product. So they say that this is a better way of evaluating any product or any service or anything new that you're developing. Because there are what are known as innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and others. If you look at any product, example of anything, Alexa, or anything new that's come into the market, a new app or a new solution, I mean, M-Fine, or there's so many of those things that they come up. How many of you have Alexa? So Alexa is still a developing model, there are very few of you. So what they say is when you release a product to the market, immediately 2.5% of the people will buy it. These are those crazy guys who don't buy anything. You come up with the say, I remember that I bought a bulb which was a Wi-Fi connection bulb in the house, and it will give you 256 colors. I bought the thing through my Wi-Fi and phone. I kept playing with it. I don't know where is that. So there are lots of new products that come to the market have what is known as 2.5% innovators. These innovators are those who are constantly experimenting, but they don't really define the market. So just because 2.5% of the customers bought your product or downloaded your product, you can't assume that I'm a success. No, there's always be some people who will buy your product. How bad it is. Let's go to a new restaurant opens up. There'll be one sector of the people who will go. They'll come back and say, "Nahi yaar, bura hai," or whatever it is. There'll always be. But there is a very, very important segment. That segment is known as the early adopters. The early adopters come after the innovators. Who are these early adopters? These are the ones who don't rush. These are the ones who value their money. These are the ones who will carefully decide whether it's worth it or not worth it. So the early adopters are those who are great influencers. So let's assume Amit for today. So if Amit buys a product, hey, don't buy just because Amit bought it, because Amit is an innovator. Ali Bili, he's just buying all the time. But let's say Hanuman Kappa, right? Hanuman, it's all the same. Okay, so if he buys it, they say, hey, he does some great analysis. Who has Hanuman bought it? Then maybe we should buy it. So early adopters are those who are great influencers. Now, the company is always looking for people like Hanuman. So they'll tell you, sir, did you enjoy that Ola drive that you had 3 years back? Every ride that he took, they gave him a second ride free. The ride that he took, Google Pay, every transfer that he made, they gave him another cashback or offer like that. Because they believe that early adopters are great influencers in the community. And just because he has bought it, it's most likely that we will buy it. And that is known as 13.5. Now, 13.5 is known as the tipping. What is tipping point? Tipping point, have you seen a scale? You'll be holding it, then you keep putting at 1 point, the scale will tilt. Correct? Remember, you're putting a kg of potatoes, 5 potatoes, 6 potatoes. It's the 7th potato that will tilt it, and now it's crossed over. So the tipping point is that point where the business will just shoot up. If you reach tipping point, your product is a super success. So you have innovators, early adopters, early majority. Who are these early majority? These are the ones who actually keep rushing in. Who looks like there's something called an OTT and they, have you downloaded Amazon Prime? Have you downloaded Disney Hotstar? Oh, wow, that's great, man. I mean, this is there. Now, OTT 3-4 years back was like innovator. Nobody would actually download it. Now we have actually moved up from early adopters to early majority. Most of us have 1 or 2 OTT on our platform. Then comes what is no. This is where no more free offer is given. This is where the company wants to do the killing. This is where the price of our Ola will shoot up. This is where, sorry sir, your 3x, 4x multiplication will come. They'll say, send you bad taxis, no more discounts. They'll warn you that you have not paid, because this is the money-making cycle of the company. Because they have crossed the tipping point, and they are in the early middle. Then comes this late majority. Oh, this guy telling me, sir, I just downloaded the Ola app in my phone. Who's going to care? So these are those late majority people for whom even Ola would not even bother about. They are the last guy. They are old people. They are the ones who are not adaptive, who are very tough and rigid about it. And laggards are the ones like the very old people that who exist. Like M-Fine, I don't know how many of you know what's M-Fine. M-Fine is supposed to be an app wherein you can connect your doctor and things like that, but not many know about it. I thought Alexa was in tipping point now. Lots of people are using Alexa. Netflix is all there. Uber days are over. This is the best. That's why you notice. What do you notice now? That the competition to Uber coming in. There is mine. There are other places because the late majority. Now you can make a difference in by coming up with a new product. There are lots of people who still don't want to use ATM cards because they're scared of what will happen. But the company doesn't even bother about it. So this is the new law of diffusion. It talks about all of these.
So how the market researchers identify these are the innovators, these are the early adopters.
But that's the whole research that goes in. Is that don't get the idea is, I'm not saying this number is solid. These numbers are not, they are referential numbers. 2.5, 13.5. They are referential numbers. For example, the word tipping point.
The early adopters feedback is very important for the company.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Innovative feedback is not considered. Innovative feedback is because they just buy. They just keep buying all kinds of things, you know. I was among the first guy to buy that wearable watch, for which MI came up with it, which was there. You can track your steps. But ask me, where is it? I've just thrown it somewhere. But there are lots of people who are still wearing it now. The old one, they are those early adopters. They won't even change. They'll still continue to have that old small one and keep like that. So the early adopters, this is what market research does for you. And this is what we will discuss over the next 14, 15 hours, is that how do you do and adapt to such a condition? Early adopters are the ones who get the best discounts. I don't know, everybody, Amazon was giving you huge discounts. Everybody was giving you discounts initially. Jio was giving you discounts for 6 months. Initially, what would they say? My friends would tell me, Ramesh, my Jio connection liya. So I said, number kya hai? Number kisko chahiye? Mere Airtel mein phone karo, I'm using it for data. That's what it was. People who took Jio connection did not even know their phone numbers. But over a period of time, Jio was able to get these early adopters to stick to it. So now they're able to grab the customers and they make sure that they're, and finally, what did they do? So many of them dropped their BSNL connection or dropped their Vodafone connection and moved it into Jio. So that's what the activity is. There is a book written by a guy called Malcolm Gladwell, or Malcolm something. The book title itself is called Tipping Point. Book title is called the tipping point. That tipping point is that part of the business where business overnight is a success. So that is what is the tipping point about. I don't know how many of you know that whom did Krishna marry? What was the name of Krishna's wife? Rukmini. But then he had a girlfriend when he was young, right? So the story goes that Rukmini wanted to weigh her husband in gold. So they made Krishna sit on a thing, and she kept on putting gold after gold after gold after gold, and that man would not move an inch. And then you have Radha come and drop one tulsi, touch up that thing base. That is tipping point. That's when the whole business takes a turn. WhatsApp, you know, WhatsApp initially, what is the purpose of WhatsApp? The first WhatsApp invite I got, I remember by a friend in Pakistan, he said that WhatsApp was meant because to be a unified platform. iPhone had their, what was it called? iPhone chat, and Android had their thing. WhatsApp was the only one which was common to Android and iOS services. So it doesn't matter which phone you had, you were able to do a communication. But now it's changed, that it's reached a tipping point where our lives were dead last week, right?
Yeah.
2 hours, there was no, I was in misery. Oh, well, honestly, because that's become our primary mode of communication. That's what is the tipping point. So this is what it is. There is a nice explanation to that subject here. You can read about it. And this completes my class for today. But I was the time, it's still not over there. So we still have some time to look at what can I tell you about, which includes telling you about your assignment. Right? Life is tough, right? Should I make it tougher?
So the tipping point is just
Yeah. I love interaction. So yeah, let me make one thing clear. There are no wrong questions. There are only wrong answers. Okay? So don't hesitate to ask me whatever you want. So
the tipping point is what where the break or get then once you start.
yes, the tipping point is where your product has become a success. You no longer have to worry about it. The tipping point is when your business has actually has been accepted by the society. Or
I have a question.
in terms of that law of diffusion, if you look at the last stage, go ahead, ask your last question. You mentioned UPI ATM. Does it mean it is going to fill you or it is stable? No. Okay, where are you? You know the categories, right? The last one. Last one is laggards. That some of you won't change. These are the ones, I mean, typical example is my father-in-law does not want it. My father-in-law wants to go to the bank and take up statement. Now, who is suffering? My father-in-law or me? Me, right? Because I am the one who has to go and get it to him. He'll just declare I'm old, I cannot. But will the bank adapt themselves to him? No, because for the bank, this is just an arbitrary number. For the bank, it's an irrelevant customer. This customer is just one among those. There is something called sunset. Every technology goes through what's called sunset. What is sunset? Sunset is when your 2G phones will no longer be open. You have 2G phones, right? The phones that you started off with. But can the government declare that 2G phones are dead? No. There is a large population of people below the poverty level or in the villages who are still using those 2G phones. So can the government afford to ignore them? Who are they? They are the laggards. They are the laggards. So what is the difference between the Jio phone and not today, but when they were introduced, what is the difference between Jio phone and Airtel phone? Jio phone was always a 4G. So what did the government of India say? The government of India said, you cannot introduce a 4G phone which has got a minimum price of 10,000 rupees. Then how can my customer who is 1,500 rupees afford that phone? So Jio said, no problem. We will come up with a 1,500 rupee phone for those people who are among them. So, but does Jio really care for it? They don't even care because they know I have to service a certain party. So does that mean answer you? Yes. So those are the ones. Eventually, over a period of time, all of us will move to 5G. But the question is, who is moving to 5G first? If I come and tell you, I moved to 5G, all you will ask me, sir, how was the experience? Did you like it? What did you do? But you're not going to take my comment seriously. It's because none of us are really convinced that we need 5G. We think it's more of a hype. 6 months later, Hanuman will come back and say, thanks to 5G, I was able to upload a huge document to my boss. Now, the innovator has become an early adopter. Now, when he says, hey, I think, well, we better move to 5G because looks like we wouldn't be in a crisis. So that is what it is. So what is happening is marketing is all about finding a new way of communicating. So that's the thing. I want to share one particular screen and then we plan for today. New share. Okay, how well can you see it? Okay, I'll read it for you. This is your assignment. Okay, as we learn from history, even the biggest companies and MNCs fail. Correct? Those who were once innovators, leaders, and path makers eventually get vanquished by a new player. Or the competitor will catch up with them and they become. Why does this happen? Why is it that the companies which were once the favorite of the market get lost? Why was the Anil Ambani group fail? Why would all these companies fail? Look at these companies. General Motors, Kodak, he himself came up with Casio, Xerox, Future India, BSNL, Yahoo. How many of us are actually connected with Yahoo? BlackBerry, Just Dial, WhatsApp payment. I'm not saying WhatsApp, but the WhatsApp payment gateway. Or if you believe you have your own company in mind, which is failed, bring it up. So your first assignment is that you will be the marketing head of that company. You will be the marketing head of that company. And you will perform an analysis. You will perform an analysis. Why did they fail? What did they do wrong? What did the competitor do right? What did the competitor visualize? Somebody visualized that there will be digital cameras and you didn't pay attention. So that's why you got killed. So there is a section of what you're trying to do, and there's a conclusion that you will draw. Then you will do a new analysis. Now Kodak, BlackBerry, Just Dial, all of them have now lots and lots of money. They are giving you unlimited money to save the company. So what will you do? How will you turn the company around? You will have to do a SWOT analysis. What is a SWOT analysis? Maybe you know it, but when you come to the class, you will learn about it. You will have to do a VRIO analysis to position the company. Then you will perform a GMQ and see how do I position my company. Then you will do what is called an STP analysis. You will do an STP analysis. Then you will work on the 4 P's. You will choose the Maslow's pyramid, and all of that you will put it in 12 slides as a group. Each of you have a group. As a group, you will put it in 12 slides. On a particular day morning, you will dress up in your best official dress and make a video presentation. You will make a video presentation. All of you will talk. You can make any assumption that you want. You will make a video presentation for 15 minutes. The PPT will be running in the background, just like how I'm doing it. You can see my face. And then you will do as a team, maybe he'll do 1 slide, maybe she will do 1 slide. You know what you're going to do. And then your marks will be given. How much is the marks? 30 marks. Out of 30 marks, 20 marks for group presentation and 10 marks for individual presentation. What is the thing I'm looking in the group? How much clarity do you have? How is your presentation done? What are your objectives? What is your narration? And on the presentation skills, I want to see how is Amit doing. Amit is reading the slide, not bothered. He doesn't know what he's reading. I said, yeah, this is not the way to present the slide. How does Amit present? Does he have confidence? Does he have clarity? Is he able to talk? And so he'll get the 10 marks. So that is where I said, for some reason, if Amit doesn't participate in this because he's traveling or is not able to, then I might go back and look at all your other Google forms and either make a conclusion that Amit is not interested, he has not submitted any of the Google, just taking you as a name, okay, and you will submit, right? Okay. So maybe I don't think he deserves to be given anything of the 10 marks. But if I notice that all other forms he's been innovative on thing, then I can be a little more. Got it? Tough or easy? So far, so good. No comments. Okay. Okay, good. Any guys on the?
Sir, we have to take any existing product or new.
I told you the product, no.
Okay, with those only.
Yeah, unless and until you believe that you have some products which you think you know for sure.
So that's it. This PDF.
Your choice A, your choice B. You all, the whole group can say, sir, we don't like this entire list. We have one list of my own. You tell me the name of the company. If I approve it, then you. Somebody is asking something.
This PDF will be shared.
This will be is a wrong usage of the word. Has been. It's already been uploaded. Okay. Right. I hope you guys like the class. Okay. So let's be interactive, talk more, and we'll have a good thing. Online, are you following? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
I have a question here. How the group will be formed? Is it everybody is included in one group?
But that's not called a group. It's not called a group. The group has already been formed. And maybe you don't know it tomorrow. I actually know the group number. I actually know the group numbers too, but I can tell you that you will get an occasion. There are, I think, about the reason why they have not yet announced to you is, I guess there are last minute additions going on, somebody joining it. But a group will typically be about 5 people. So you will have to talk to each other, connect yourself on Zoom, talk to, and then work on it. Okay? Make sense? What's the time? We still have time, no?
Hi, sir. Shayok here. I have just a quick question, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, actually, I just wanted to understand one thing, sir. So, whenever we are in corporate world, we used to hear one, sentence from our managers saying that you need to market yourself. Okay. I mean, whatever you are doing today is good, but you need to still market yourself. So, is this marketing comes under our syllabus, or we have we need to ignore that particular?
Okay. Very good. Very nice. Very nice. What's your name?
Shayok here, sir.
Syed, did you submit your the second Google form?
Yes, sir.
Where did you do that? Where is he? Is he there? Syed. Let's see. Okay. What does he say? Syed, here with 7 years, again, pay attention. Here with, you're reading it, no? Here with 7 years experience in foreign language in corporate world, crazy about sports, loves to travel, looking myself as a good corporate leader someday. So what do you want to do in life? Why are you saying all this? I think this guy is the right guy for a job of a commentator for football. He loves different languages. He is willing to travel. He loves sports. So you are projecting yourself on a proper light, right? What your boss is saying is that unless and until there is to be I had a boss exactly like your boss, and he used to say in Telugu, which not very good at, but he says that the mother does not give milk to the baby, it doesn't. That literal translation would be that the mother gives milk to the baby only when it starts crying. So you must ask, you must make yourself heard. Then the mother will be busy doing WhatsApp, but only when the baby cries, wherever I have a baby, right? I have to feed it. So unless and until you make noise about it, how will you be able to do it? Unless my dad's category was a different category. My dad would say that the story goes like this: if you are the finest cobbler in town, the whole world will come to you wherever you are. That means to say that, there's a cobbler out there in that part of the city who makes fine, who repairs your slippers very well. The whole world will go there. That's the old definition. Now I care a damn where that cobbler is. I should make the cobbler come to where I am. The cobbler should be heard. The cobbler should be visible. There are the 2 times in a year there is a flower show in Lal Bagh, right? So they say that it's better to be an ordinary flower in Lal Bagh than an extraordinary flower in the forest. An extraordinary forest, who will take a selfie with it? Even if it's an ordinary flower, there are going to be hundreds who want to take it. So what your boss is telling you is you might be doing some great work, but if the world doesn't recognize the great work you're doing, how will they know that you've done it? Every one of us have to promote ourselves. Marketing is all about promoting our lifestyle. So your boss is actually telling you the good thing. The boss is exactly the kind of a boss I had. I would sit in the corner out there and then be myself. Say, it doesn't work like this. Nobody will even know you.
But how do we promote ourselves?
Well, I also conduct join me in a minimum fee of $1,000. No, that joke apart. Promotion. The first step begins with the awareness in this. What you are asking is your first step towards that. If you're an introvert and you realize that I'm an introvert, and realize that an introvert can never be recognized in the world outside, you've made your first step. You decided that there's something. There is a saying that when you are ready, complete the sentence. When you are ready, the teacher arrives. If you're truly ready, you have the solution already. Okay? Oh yeah, you started your thing. Yeah. Walk carefully. Okay, right, guys? Okay, enough? Or you want some more? Enough, right?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks. See you all 2 weeks from now. And, yeah, we'll have 1 or 2 communication over the next stages. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye. Take care.
Thank you,
Take
sir.
care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, what's the score?